Happy Monday! Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. It's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work through projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the process along the way and help me make decisions and just come and chit chat with me. So tonight, you guys, just because I didn't work on it this weekend like how I wanted to and I didn't want to put it away yet, I am continuing our Finish It Friday project, which is the Triangle Tango Quilt from Missouri Star Quilt Co. Here it is right there. I threw a link to it below. We are working on making our rows. So we have our blocks done. This is row 10 of blocks, and there's 14 rows total. I have 10 through 14, so that's 5 more rows to stitch the blocks together to make the rows. And I am determined to get it done today. So we might go a hair later tonight because if we go quick, then maybe we can get them all done within an hour, but I suspect it'll be a hair over an hour tonight. But I just couldn't put this away yet with it all ready to go and sitting out here. So we're going to work on this, and then tomorrow we will start up on the Betts White Lil Felt Village again too. So I'll clean up whatever we got going on here tonight and revamp for tomorrow. But man, just 5 more of these rows to stitch together. I couldn't let that stand. So right now we have the 9 rows all done. So these rows are all complete. And I would like to just get that part of this project done. Then I can have that feeling that we did something. We got a little bit further along. So let's do that tonight. And then we'll get back on to the normal. So all right, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll get going. Let's get sewing here. Okay, so again, here is row 10. I have my little basket of leaders here, although I won't need them that much because the way we're doing this is we're chain stitching everything. So we just sew the next piece on, so we don't actually need to take it off very often. So here are the other rows. We got 11 through 14. I would like to crank all these out. So let's give this a go. The key factor in this again is I have been marking the upper left of each sewn piece with a wonder clip here. That way I know I always can keep track. Even if things turn and whatever, I always know what the upper left-hand corner is. So like these 2 will go together, also these 2. It's all in order. We've already arranged all these, so also these 2 together. And then the next 2 I sew together, I will put that wonder clip in the top left-hand corner here again. So all right, we're gonna start with these 2, and I'm just gonna chain piece everything for number 10. And then we'll take them off in order, so everything will stay in order, and sew them into groups of 4, and then into the groups of, let's see, I think it's like 9 or 10 across total. So, all right, let's go down to the machine. If you notice, I got my old Kenmore out. This is that 70s Kenmore. This is the one that my mom used in college. This one was at the shop because we were trying to get the feed dogs to lower, and they lower now, so it's ready for some free motion quilting. It's so smooth and quiet compared to the other machines we've been using. It's just, it feels good. It feels good to use it again. All right, let's crank this out. I want these rows finished, so yeah, we might be here a little bit longer, but I was hoping to come in on Saturday and Sunday and do it, but Sunday I ended up just doing laundry all day. So laundry took over for crafting. All right, I gotta take my shoe off. That's not working at all. before, sometimes people ask, oh, do you sew with your shoe on or socks on or barefoot or whatever? And it's something I never thought of before until people started asking. And now I can always tell that I like it way better without shoes on. You can just feel the pedal a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna clip this upper left-hand corner again because this is my next piece. I get sewn onto here. I know it's so quiet. I mean, it's super well oiled at this point too, because they had to oil it a ton and grease it and clean it a ton to get those feet to work again, to lower. And I had oiled it before bringing it to them because I was trying to get the feet to lower. So it's like double oiled. Actually, there was a lot of oil coming off on the thread before I started this up on Friday. So I had to wipe it down quite a bit. So it was almost over oiled. Oh, granddaughter's volleyball, fun. All right, marking the upper left again. Man, yeah, if we can get these rows done, then all we really have to do is sew the rows together. Well, we'll have to iron, so I'll have to get the big ironing board out at some point, probably. Then we can lay out the rows and sew them right away. Gosh, that sounds like a long Saturday. That sounds like something I should do. We should have like a marathon on a Saturday just to press and sew these rows together, I feel like. Might have to plan for something. Plan for that. There is November's Finish It Friday. Could always just continue it into Saturday or something. Man, November is gonna just come up, isn't it? What is the step for final? Yeah, so here are the next steps. So we will press the seams. So we need to press the rows. I'm gonna do it where the seams are in opposite directions, and then we can nest the seams together when we sew. So we're gonna press the rows, then sew the rows together. And then, yes, we will need to sandwich it to the back. So I probably have to sew a back because I'm pretty sure, well, I know I'm going to have to sew a back. So I have that bright green that I'm going to use for the back. And so we have to measure and figure out what size I need to make the back. So there's that. So we'll have to sew a back. And then we'll sandwich it together, which means I got to make sure I have batting. I hope I have batting for this. I thought I had batting, but I think we might be using that for the Splendid Sampler too, so I might actually need some batting. Oh man, it took me a long time to get into quilt projects because I like the quick wins, and quilt projects, they last forever. So they weren't as appealing to me, but now when you separate them into lots of little projects, it makes it a little easier. Each little step is a win then. But yeah, so I'll have to make the back, and then we'll sandwich the quilt together. And at that point, we will quilt. I do not quite know how I'm going to quilt it yet. Although yesterday I was thinking it would be really fun to do a big, like a big almost motif, like a really big flower floral pattern or something that's extra big that we maybe draw on beforehand or something. I don't know, maybe that's acting crazy, but I was thinking just really, really huge feathers or really, really huge flowers and then fill it in with a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I was thinking that the back would look really pretty if we did that. But I don't know for sure. I'm going to machine quilt it because
I've been trying to learn how to machine quilt a little bit better, and this is a good opportunity to do a whole quilt with machine quilting. So it's still a learning quilt for me. I'm gonna just practice my machine quilting. All right, so this is that first block. I'm gonna take that off, and I'm gonna take the second one off, and we'll sew those together. But yeah, so machine quilting. So we'll do that. Yep, I'm gonna try it on this machine here. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna take off this upper left-hand corner now because I'm gonna sew it to another piece. It's no longer the upper left-hand corner. And then we have to make and sew on a binding yet. And that I would like to do with that bright green as well. So there's really a lot to do yet, actually, but the front will be real close to done after this. And I mean, we did a pretty big quilt here, too. Gosh, I kind of want to just keep sewing all the rows. Is that super crazy? That's probably super crazy, isn't it? I kind of want to just sew 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. Is that just asking for trouble? I mean, they are numbered, and as long as I keep taking it off the back, I don't know. Maybe I'll just continue how we're doing. That sounds scary. All right. But then we could continue sewing and I wouldn't have to pull off pieces all the time. But I would eventually. And we'll do it how we're doing it. No need to get it all confusing. Oh, do you think I should do it, Robin? Gosh, I'm tempted. We'll have to finish this one first. Actually, we wouldn't really have to finish it. I could just keep going, couldn't I? Should we risk getting super duper confused? I think we should. Let's just do it. Everything on here is row 10. I'm gonna just start up row 11 right away here. This may be totally dumb, but we're gonna find out. I mean, in theory, as long as we keep taking off the back and I keep having these labels on here, it should be totally fine. I just kind of want to keep going. It's a matter of labeling them with the upper left-hand corner. Then we shouldn't really get confused, really, I don't think. We might, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, depending on how tired I am and the ability to concentrate. Yeah, that might be the reason for this decision. This might be I'm a little tired, let's make poor decisions decision, but we're doing it now. I don't care. If it gets so confusing, then I will just have to lay it out and re-figure it out what the heck I'm doing again and take an afternoon to do that. Yeah, exactly. The row labels will separate them. So yeah, the theory is solid, I think. The practice is unpracticed or untested. How about that? We are testing a hypothesis right now. All right, but it is kind of nice to just keep sewing these blocks together. Feels good. Oh, nice. Yes, quilting is a big, big job, isn't it, Leslie? one of these weekends. I haven't had a lot of free weekends over the summer, and I won't this fall really either, but one of these free weekends, when one comes up, I am going to have to finish my jean quilt too. That one is still in progress. That needs to finish. Yeah, now I'm just thinking, oh man, I'm gonna start overwhelming myself with all the unfinished projects. Like we have the I Love Home quilt, that's not done. We have to make a back, we have to finish the back. We're doing an improv back for that and quilt that. Oh, goodness. Yep, these quilts. That's why people end up with like tons of quilt tops that are unfinished. It's because the rest of it takes forever. Oh, you haven't seen the jean quilt. The jean quilt is a quilt that I have been working on for probably at least 10 years. I took old jeans and I cut them into 1.5-inch strips and then sewed a log cabin style quilt out of it. So it's kind of the hedgehog that's behind me. All right, I'm starting number 12 here. The hedgehog quilt, that's the wall hanging that's behind me, that's from excess 1-inch pieces that I had left over. So, and I still have a little bit more. I might make a little pillow or something out of it. I know I need to finish it because that's going to be my super warm quilt, like my heavy, it's like a weighted blanket, really. That's going to be my gravity blanket, my warm winter blanket, and again, winter's coming and I still don't have that done. I am hand tying it, so it's going to be tied with wool ties, and really it's like a couple days worth of work. It's mostly tied, but I have to tie the border too. So the front is almost tied, but except for the border, and the border is going to probably be as many ties as the whole front. So that's going to take time. It really just needs to be a Saturday that I decide to do nothing else and then like sit and watch a pile of movies and make these ties in the living room because it takes up a ton of space too. But it's got to get done at some point. And you know what? That'd be a big, bulky project that would be nice to get in the done column. Oh, you want to make a jean quilt? I really did enjoy making it a lot. It has some raw edges exposed, which I think is really cute, and like I really, really, really love it. And I think it's going to be awesome on our bed. It's like an extra large queen size quilt. It's just going to be so warm and heavy, and hopefully I can wash it in a normal washing machine. That's the other situation. But yeah, it's in that final push through. You know what it is? It's in that final 20%. So I'm good at getting projects done to that 80%, but then my brain just has a hard time pushing through that extra 20% to get the job done, and I think that's kind of where it's at right now. It's in that 20%, so it keeps just getting not finished. But I'm talking about it, which must mean that I'm thinking about it, which usually means that I will pick it up soon. It's on my radar again. Ooh, it has flannel on the back and jeans. Oh, put together like a raid quilt. Oh gosh, that sounds nice. So does that have some nice weight to it, Robin? I think that's what I'm excited about. It's going to be just super hefty, I think. Oh yes, Leslie, you need to keep one of them for sure. I have so many like lap quilts, and they're just folded up and they're in the living room. But you know, every once in a while they all get used, and you know, you can have them in the car, and then then I have the first Splendid Sampler one. That quilt's on my bed right now. You know, and I've washed that quilt a bunch of times, the first Splendid Sampler, and all the embroidery looks good yet. The applique looks good. Nothing's fallen apart, so that's nice. All right, this is it for 12. We have 13 and 14 yet, and man, we are going to have to find the end of this crazy row of stuff, because it's pretty bulky behind my machine now, and it's really, really important that we sew things in order as they come off of the machine. So I'm going to have to grab the end here and not mess it up. Actually, I may grab the end right now, just so it's on top. There we go. Here's the first piece. I'm just going to have that nearby so I can grab that and start pulling from there. But we do have, we're on 13 now, and I'm going to keep going. You know, maybe this will force me to do it all now, because it's all going to be on the machine. I can't stop now. So I think we got 2 done in a half an hour or so. On Friday, so that was 2. So we'll probably go for like an hour and a half tonight, maybe, for the 5. Although this might make it go a lot faster now that we're chain piecing it all at once. We might save some minutes here. My jean quilt, so sewn together. It's 4 log cabin blocks by 4 log cabin blocks. So I have 16 log cabin blocks in all. But they're a good, they must be like 20 inches or something big, each of them. Like, they're pretty big, these log cabin blocks. So I think I might have started with like a 3-inch or 4-inch, maybe a 4-inch, like a 4-inch square of wool in the middle of the log cabin. So I have some gold colored, like kind of that jean colored, like gold thread, but it's wool. I have some gold wool in the middle, and then the jeans go around, and I have the dark side of the jeans on 2 sides, and then the inside of the jeans is a lighter color typically. That's on the other 2 sides. So you have that light dark effect that you get with a log cabin design typically. So it's 16 blocks, and with like really big log cabin things, and then they're arranged so they have like these stripes and kind of diamond shapes. But it was nice. So I cut 1.5-inch strips out of the jeans, like wherever I could get 1.5-inch strips from the jeans. And then I sewed those strips end to end, and those are exposed. So the little 1/4 inch where the end is sewn together, that's exposed. Sometimes you can see it. Sometimes the seam allowance is on the inside, sometimes it's on the outside. Next time I take it out, I'll show you what I mean, because maybe this is a little confusing. But then I just had a giant roll of 1.5-inch jeans, and then I used that to just continuously sew the log cabin design. Which actually, it's more accurate if you cut pieces for a log cabin instead of just sew strips to it. Because then you can make sure that everything stays the same size and it doesn't get all loose in places and stuff. But anyway, it's all fine. I'm curious. It's one of the first, I hadn't made a lot of quilts when I started that, so it's been around for a while. and I'm excited to see it done. It just needs time put in. Like everything else, I suppose. But it'd be nice to start ticking off the boxes again, finishing some of these unfinished guys. Oh, Robin, that's nice. Robin says, I love when you work on the last 20% of projects. It motivates me to finish my own UFOs. Yeah, that, honestly, to me, that is really where I gotta put in the willpower, the last 20%, because that's where I fade. That's where I'm like, meh, let's just store this somewhere. But in the end, it really is just 20%, just get it done sort of thing, and it feels awesome. But yeah, that's, even if I'm writing I see this everywhere with me, but even if I'm writing an email, I might just have to put that last little sentence in it, but it's that last 20%, and then I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just when any project I'm doing gets to the 20%, then I just am over it all of a sudden, or I just can't push through. So to get to that point, then, yeah, I mean, I see it coming. Like, I know it's a thing with me, but, that doesn't make it any easier to push through. All right, I'm starting 14. This is it. This is the last row. But then we got next part is where the confusion may begin, but maybe not. Hopefully it'll be not confusing at all. That'd be nice. We will see. I do think this is probably saving us time, though, sewing all at once together. We'll see. If we finish all of these rows in the hour, then I know that I've saved like a half hour by doing it this way. That's good. Get a little experiment in for the day. That's makes my brain happy. That's why when I work on these big projects, like a big quilt or the Splendid Sampler 2, that sort of stuff, that's why I like peppering in like little embroidery projects, or even, the Bet's White, the Spoopy Clock Tower, just some small projects that, we can pepper in the middle of these other giant projects to make these giant projects less scary, less overwhelming, because, they are big projects. Just trying to match these ends. Yeah, I like variety too. Yeah, sometimes you just like can't deal with something, and then it's time to do it. Oh, Lucy, that's how you get when it comes to binding and the label. You just don't want to do it. So for me, yeah, the label, I feel like that. But for me, when I get to the binding, for me, that's like my victory lap. Like, first of all, I like putting on a binding. It's like, I like hand stitching a binding. I just like that hand work of it. But to me, that's the like, oh, I made it through all of this. I did it. And so to me, that's a little bit outside the like 20% part that I hate doing. To me, that's the, yay, I'm almost finished part. But really, that's kind of unique, because typically it's that last 20% in its entirety that I struggle with. But something about binding a quilt, I like that. But that's totally where the label comes in. The label, I'm just kind of, I don't need a label. Even though whenever I put a label, I'm really, really happy that I did. But that's the part that I want to kind of just quit on. I totally agree with that. Yeah, quilting is the challenge for me as well. Oh, Amy, you're binding your quilt right now. That's awesome. One of these days I'll have a quilt ready to bind. That's just relaxing. I like binding a quilt. All right, this is my last pairing right here. After this, we go back to that row 10, which I already started putting into 4s, so we'll see where we left off on that. I think we're gonna have to put parts of row 10 to the side. Yeah, because I started that already. That's gonna get weird. Oh well. The rest of it should be easy. Okay. I am taking this next piece off. So now I'm back on row 10 here. This is the next piece, going in the upper left corner with the clip. All I need to do is keep sewing next pieces to next pieces, then we should be good. It's just going to get confusing in that row 10 area because I started it and didn't finish before starting row 11. I'm going to trust our hypothesis, though. I'm going to trust the process here. Actually, I'm going to actually put a clip in the middle of this block and the one that came before, and that's going to be my announcement, like right here, of hey, we're back at number 10 here. So I'm gonna, this is my marker. So now I know everything above here is this is 14, this is back to 10, just because I think that's gonna confuse me here. All right, yeah, because here, now I'm back to the beginning of 10. That was the last piece of 10. So now I'm gonna sew these 2 rows of 4 that we already did for row 10. And then I'm gonna have to come back to this one, which will be a little confusing, but okay. Just remember that the one before this is also part of 10. We'll figure it out. Okay. We'll get there. This has quite the flaw in this fabric, but I kind of like leaving all those. All right, so that's almost all of row 10. All right, so what comes next should be row 11 here. Yep, all right. So all I gotta do is, now I'm making rows of 4 out of all of these. So they should all feel the same until we get back to row 10. Although now that we're doing that clip, then gotta keep clipping each time, but that's fine. Just the act of doing a similar thing over and over again, I think, should make it faster. So by doing all the pairs and then doing all the rows of 4, and then all the larger rows, and we should be good. All right, next up. I just gotta not drop anything and not cut too many pieces at once, and we should be good. This machine sounds so nice. it feels good even thinking about that I'll have these rows done. As I finish them, I'll probably fold them up, so that'll take a little bit of time, but then that'll be some bulkiness out of the way. Yes, working like a machine. I kind of like that. That totally appeals to me. The like tweaking things to get it more streamlined and more machine-like. I do kind of like that. Oh, I'm starting row 12 here. I like that rhythm. Oh, like updated the software on the phone, or updated, like got a new phone. It's always, like, I'm always a little nervous about doing those software updates, because who knows what new they're gonna put on there, what else I'm gonna have to learn. Oh, did my brother take the machine? Nope, he didn't. But he travels pretty light, so that would have been a pretty big, bulky item to have around. So, nope, he didn't. But it was nice. We got to see him on Friday, and then he left Saturday morning. So he is back off to work. Back out west. Winter is coming. He's gotta get back on the ski hill. Oh, I kind of do that too. They always want to update the software, Leslie, when I'm in the middle of something. I'm like, wow, I'm not going to do that now. And then it takes forever. Oh, you got the new iPhone update and it's all changed around. Yeah. Oh, Nolene, I am... Traditionally, I am like that. I need to keep going until it's finished. I've, now that I've been doing these Facebook Lives, I don't do that as much because I know I've got this, like, built-in consistency. But historically, that has been my go-to thing, too. I have to get it done. I have to stay up and just finish this one extra part or do this one extra thing. And all right, starting row 13. I'm feeling a little bit like this may be pushing my limits of the ideal amount of sewing without stopping. I think the hour that we typically do here, I think my body's just kind of used to that. Like, I'm kind of feeling like, oh, this is going to be... I'm going to need to stretch after this, is what I'm feeling like. I suppose I could actually bring this a little closer to me, but... I think we're fine. Oh, with a black background. Weird. See, that'd be a tough change for me. Although my husband was on his phone earlier, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so bright. So a dark background would probably alleviate a lot of that, wouldn't it? All right, this is the last row of 13, the last pairing, or the group of 4, I suppose, for row 13, and then we're going to make groups of 4 for 14. Then we'll be back at 10 again. And I think for that, we may have to take things off the machine, which I don't want to do, really. But as long as we keep track of things, we'll probably be okay. All right. Oh, that's a good idea, Arlo. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Doing that right now, not a bad idea at all. I'm gonna just twist a little. Yeah, that feels good. All right, here's row 14 stuff. It's nice that nothing really has to match up on this quilt. You know, in theory, I'm probably clipping a few points here and there, but I'm not worrying about it too much. Oh, you can't see. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm probably due for an update on this phone, actually. Oh, I think I did just do an update on the phone that I'm filming this on. I think it asked me if I wanted it white or black. So you can probably go in your preferences and change it back to white if you want. This is the last row of 14. Here's my little marker that says everything before this is row 10. Good to know. Okay. Let's go this way. Oh, on the live videos, it's black. Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay, that's row 14. I am back to row 10. Okay, here's a grouping of 4. But what do I attach this to? In theory, it's the first. But I think that got that's what got goofed up here. Yeah, okay, so here's 10. Let me just double check. This next one should be 11. Yeah, okay. Good, we're taking care of our goofy bit right here. So here is the start of row 10, and this little 4-piece here is the end of row 10. So I just have to flip that. All right, so good, that didn't get too confusing. So this is row 10. Row 10 will be done. I think I'll fold it up when it comes around again. Just keep sewing. Alright. Now we're sewing groups of 4 together. Oh, this might get a little goofy because I think there's 3 groups of 4 in each one. Alright, we might have to start adapting this process a little bit. I might start using some leaders and getting this figured out. Because it'd be nice to just sew the last piece on it right away. Because otherwise it's going to have to sit around and then I'll lose track of it. Alright, so here's the first 2 of 11. All right, I think I got a plan. Hold on a sec here. All right, these are the first 2 4 pairings of 11, but here is the 3rd. I think I'm going to set the 3rd on my lap. Because I'm going to be starting row 12 here. Okay, this is where I'm going to confuse myself, but we're going to do it. First of all, I think I'm going to snip. So 10 is off now. All right, I'm going to sew the first 12 piece. To the second 12 piece. I gotta say it all out loud so I know what I'm doing. All right, so this is the first and second 12 piece. Now I'm going to take the 11 piece off of the machine. And I have the last of the 11 piece sitting in my lap. Oh, I'm going to press the seams next as my whole next step. And then I'll like kind of lay everything flat. I'll probably press and then lay them all on the ground and then sew them together right away. Or clip them together a little bit maybe. Okay, so this is 11. Now 11 should be done at this point. Awesome. And so now I'm going to take the 12 off. And sew the last 12 section onto that. All right. I'm totally keeping track of this, but if I left this and went somewhere else, I would lose track, I'm thinking, but we're still good. This is the last 12 piece, so row 12 will be done. So we have 10, 11, and 12 totally done. Wow, I think we're saving ourselves a half hour here. I really do. We're gonna get 5 rows done, and I think the most we got done before was 3 rows in an hour, or maybe 4. We're gonna get all 5 of these. assuming I don't run out of bobbin or something horrible like that. Okay, so that's 12, so I'm gonna clip, so that's 11 and 12. Done. All right, next up, organize a little bit here. Okay, so we're gonna have to do the same with this next batch, I think. So here's 13, the first one. 13, the second. All right, so I'm gonna snip row 12, I think, off my machine. Okay, so here's 13, and I'm gonna place the last 13 in my lap. Do that again, and now here's our row 14. The first two. It's so bulky. Yep, bobbin chicken again. You know, you sew all these straight rows, and all of a sudden, you know, this uses up a lot of bobbin compared to just all our little tiny blocks, I feel like. Oh, it's gonna feel good to clean up this stuff again, and we'll get that little felt village out again, and we'll work on that for the rest of the week. Finish all the embroidery and start putting it together. All right, so now I'm going to take, I gotta say it all out loud, I'm going to take the 13 off, row 13, and that's the piece that is in my lap, the third piece. And then we'll just have that one last piece on the 14, and that's it! We just got to fold these guys up. Ha-ha! Totally got this done in an hour. Nice. So this definitely saved some time. Just going and going and going, I think. Versus doing each row individually. Alright, so that's 13. That should be done now. And now I'm taking the first two of 14. There should be one more sitting around here for 14. And then we should actually have, all our rows should be just in order here, all finished. Ha-ha, this is the last one right here. Oh gosh, I thought I didn't have a clip on it, but ooh, found it. I wouldn't have known which direction to sew it. That was scary. All right, let's fold these up then too. Ooh, and I need to get a leader out, a new leader. That's a good way to finish with a new leader. All right, let's snip and let's fold all of these up. Okay, I want to kind of go in order though. So this is 14, so 10. Yep, there we are. Oh, we're gonna have such a cute stack of rows here. All right, so now this can sit around for however much longer it'll be before we work on it again. But at least that step is done. That's what makes me happy. So here's my stack. I can just add number 10 to there. All right, 11 should be way up here. Yeah, man, having these labels is totally key. I would have not been keeping track of this, that's for sure. That's stretchy. There's a lot of sewing on the bias with this quilt, so probably is a little stretchier than most rows. That's 11. All right, 12. All right, I feel better. I did not want to put this project away unfinished. Or the rows, if I consider the rows a project. So we'll press, I mean, you know, I'm folding all these and everything right now, so they'll get pressed. I wouldn't fold it back up like this if I didn't separate these yet. If I hadn't pressed them yet. Or if I had already pressed them, I wouldn't. I would just leave them flat somewhere. I didn't put those together very well. All right, one more. Yay. All right, now I feel like I'm ready to get back to the spooky clock tower. This would have been staring at me from the shelf. It's probably still going to stare at me from the shelf, not being done, but still. Not as much. Got my fix for a little bit. All right, 14 rows, looking all cute. So just to show you guys again, this is that green. This is a whole bolt of fabric, but this is that green that I want to use for both the binding and the back. So the whole back will be this bright, like lime green, and for the little binding as well. So there'll just be this tiny little bit sliver of green framing it, and then the whole back will be this. I think that'll be just super cute and sweet. So I'm excited for that. So for now, all these are gonna go back in my Missouri Star Quilt bag. That's kind of been my storage for this. And next we'll be pressing this at some point. I want to press them in opposite directions, and then I'll probably press and sew in the same like event. So I'll probably, you know, press the first 2 rows I'll clip together, and the rows 3 and 4 I'll clip, then 5 and 6 I'll clip, all the way to 14. So that might be a longer project, and that's going to be a back and forth sort of situation too, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. But I think that'll be the plan. So awesome, you guys! I'm going to flip you around. We'll call it an evening here. Hello! So I am very excited that that only took a half hour. That was 5 whole rows, or not a half hour, an hour. I was thinking that would take at least an hour and a half based on how long it's taken us to do the other rows. So yeah, machine doing it all. I mean, it really was just having those methods with the clips in place to keep track of things, really, and then just taking the last one off the machine, the last one off of the machine, and not cutting more than I needed off, just to keep track of things. So that was it, keeping track of things, and it sped up time. So that was good. So awesome, you guys! I'll get this up on Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube, and yeah, back to the Bet's White Little Felt Village tomorrow. I'll clean up this area again, and we'll get all the felt out. So awesome! Thanks again, you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.